If you ever want to commit a crime and get away with it, try involving a writer. We spent long hours staring at a blinking cursor, our only company, meaning we practically had no alibi. Many of us often shut ourselves off from the outside world to minimize distractions from you. You know how it goes in murder trials. They look at your Google search history and already have the first pieces of evidence that you planned a murder. I write mystery novels, so all of my search queries look like that. There was a funny incident with my roommate Rob in college because of this. I had my laptop open, looking at modern methods of mummification, and he thought I was a psychopathic killer. I let him read my rough drafts to finally convince him that it was all just for research. He enjoys telling the story. Fortunately, he was more than willing to say this in my defense. This time, he didn't have his usual cheerful expression when telling the story. He seemed very serious. He, like all my other friends, insisted that I couldn't have killed my ex. And I didn't, by the way. I know that's what people expect when they hear these kinds of stories. That the narrator ultimately committed the crime they were accused of. And I swear, I didn't kill Alex. The prosecution, of course, did their best to find a motive, means, and opportunity. Since I lived alone, I had no one who could confirm that I was really at home all day writing. And just like that, there was an opportunity. Everyone who knew me could confirm that I possessed a vast knowledge of the macabre, and I also had FBI files of some murderers on my hard drive. The Freedom of Information Act, which came into effect in 1967, had proven itself invaluable in terms of research. So we had a means as well. As for the motive they tried to pin on me, that I was pissed off because of the breakup or something, well, here's the thing. No, I wasn't. I mean, yeah, it hurt for the first while, but I got over it. Alex was the one who ended it, anyway. He was unsure about his sexuality, and after our 3-month affair, neither of us independently expressed any negative feelings about the other. That pretty much dismantled the prosecution's motive. However, the other two aspects were relatively easily explained because it was November, or more specifically, National Novel Writing Month. Since 2011, I had participated every year, and my account on their website showed a summary of my current book and confirmed that I was telling the truth. Of course, everyone knew that during this time, I was almost officially considered missing. 1,700 words a day are tougher than you think. To finally get to the point, my rough drafts were also presented as evidence. The jury deliberated for a little over an hour before acquitting me. Rob and I locked eyes, and I grinned. For everyone else, it seemed like we shared the joy of the verdict, and we did. That's not the point at which I admit that I killed Alex. I told you, it wasn't me. It was Rob. He wanted to know what it was like to kill someone. He had fantasized about it for years. When he initially saw my little research in college, he thought maybe I was a kindred spirit. Unfortunately for him, I wasn't. Reading crime scene reports and looking at photos provided very little information. The only way to truly learn is to speak to someone who has actually killed someone. Speaking to convicted murderers carried the risk that the killer wouldn't tell the truth. So Rob and I devised this plan. In return, I expected him to tell me everything about the murder from a killer's perspective, and I kept him out of prison. We looked for someone with a connection to me, someone whose death could provide a possible motive for me. They considered me so suspicious, they never suspected him. My normal behavior made me almost look guilty at first glance, but my long-established hobby saved me. My knowledge of crime helped him commit the murder he so desperately wanted, and in return, I gained an invaluable source. So yes, if you ever want to get away with murder, involve a writer.